Disilakan semua diri kenamaan untuk dan juga para tamu untuk mengambil tempat duduk. Jadi bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera yang amat berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Perdana Menteri Malaysia, yang amat berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Dr. Wan Ismail, yang berhormat Tuan Chang Li Kang iaitu Menteri Sains, Teknologi dan Inovasi Malaysia, Tuan Yang Terutama Ouyang Yujing, Duta Besar China ke Malaysia, yang berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Dr. Osman Bakar, penyandang kursi Al-Ghazali dalam bidang pemikiran Islam di Institut Antarabangsa Pemikiran Peradaban Islam Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia, yang berhormat Tuan Lee Chian Chung iaitu pengurusi Cross,
yang berusaha Encik Ian Neo Chi Hua, pengerusi Search, yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Chong Kek Ping, pengerusi Eksekutif Persatuan Berhad, yang berusaha Encik Muhammad Faisal bin Abdul Aziz, Presiden Angkatan Belia Islam Malaysia, yang berusaha Profesor Lee Hong Lei, Presiden Boao Confucian Entrepreneurs Forum, yang berbahagia Datuk Cheng Lai Kong, Presiden Dewan Perhimpunan Cina Kedah dan Pendahari Jemaah Datuk Negeri Kedah, yang berbahagia Dr. Lee Chai, Penasihat Cross.
pastinya juga rakan-rakan media yang berbahagia Tan Sri, Datuk Sri, Datuk-Datuk, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Diri kenamaan dan juga para tamu jemputan, alhamdulillah pertama sekali marilah kita sama-sama merafak kesyukuran kepada Ilahi dan juga ingin menyantuni kehadiran yang amat berhormat Perdana Menteri yang hadir sempena dengan forum kita langsungkan pada hari ini, pasnya Rabu 29 November 2003 bersamaan dengan 15 Jamadil Awal 1445 Hijrah bertempat di Hotel Horizon Convention Center, Kuala Lumpur.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Islam-Confucianism Leadership Dialogue 2023. As we gather here, we are establishing a platform for open and respectful exchanges. And this dialogue epitomizes a profound exploration of commonalities and distinctions, an earnest endeavor to recognize and appreciate the shared value and belief between Islam and Confucianism. We actively encourage cooperation, knowledge exchange, and involvement of our youth, the future leaders and ambassadors of their communities. Through promoting intercultural understanding and collaboration among them, we aspire to contribute to a better and more harmonious future for all.
Baiklah, diri hormat dan para tamu jemputan yang berhormat sekalian, kini sama-sama kita tumpukan perhatian untuk tayangan video sempena dengan majlis yang diadakan pada hari ini.
And now we have a captivating video presentation that serves as a montage of the remarkable event during the Islamic Confucianism activities. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the video.
Dialog Islam dan Confucianism ini merupakan satu permulaan tanda tahap muafakat yang meningkat di kalangan rakyat Malaysia, tanda keyakinan baru yang berperan di kalangan masyarakat berbagai kaum dan berbagai agama dan negara, tanda bahawa kita bersedia untuk memberikan makna baru kepada kepaduan rakyat dalam arti kata kesediaan untuk mendalami pemikiran dan falsafah hidup bersama, tanda bahawa kita bersedia untuk meningkat dan melangkah bagi memperkasa budaya kita di Malaysia. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this seminar marks the beginning of major development in the Asian consciousness. Bagi kita yang beragama Islam, semangat ini menunjukkan bahawa kita memberi makna kepada kesediaan umat untuk menghormati kelainan 我们不是一家人，我们以相相处，有两个是他的。
Jadi begitulah tadi tayangan video bersama dengan majlis yang dilangsungkan pada hari ini. Baiklah hadirin dihormat dan para tamu jemputan yang dihormati, kini masa yang ditunggu-tunggu telah pun tiba. Majlis dengan penuh takzimnya mempersilakan Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Perdana Menteri Malaysia, untuk menyampaikan ucapan seterusnya merasmikan majlis yang diadakan pada hari ini.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me and join me to welcome the guest of honor, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, to be on the stage and deliver his speech. Yang Amat Berhormat, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Alhamdulillah, nahmadu wa nusalli ala rasulil karim. Kewilayah Ping, Dacia Hao, Saudara Menteri Candikang, Tuan Utama Tu Yang Ling, Duta Besar Cina, saudara saya, Saudara Profesor Osman Bakar, Dia Chen Chung dan semua yang membantu menyelenggarakan dan menjayakan penerusan seminar dan persidangan Islam dan Confucianism. Tentu kita lihat tadi betapa usaha ini harus menjadi usaha yang berterusan kerana kefahaman tentang budaya, melatih untuk menghormati perbezaan itu bukan suara yang mudah kerana kita dibesarkan dalam satu bentuk kepompong budaya tertentu. Jadi saya ambil kesempatan ini juga untuk menzahirkan penghargaan khusus kepada Profesor Osman Bakar yang komited dalam hal ini dan juga sahabat lama saya Profesor Tu Wei Ming. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed delegates and guests, the world is witnessing an alarming resurgence in identity politics, a phenomenon that has emerged from a long and complex arc of history. This trend, which has been simmering for decades, gained momentum with the global war on terrorism and the subsequent unraveling of the Middle East. No doubt, 9/11 added fuel to the fire of Islamophobia, turbo with even more in the United States and Europe with the growing, which is of course concerning not only to Europe and the West, but also to the entire world. A key turning point is of course the fall of Saddam Hussein in Iraq, which significantly heightened the anxieties of the Sunni nations as the Shia crescent emerged. This event marked the beginning of an era of unprecedented chaos in Iraq, Syria, and other parts of the Middle East, leading to deep-seated tragedies that have permanently scarred the region. The large-scale movement of refugees from these troubled lands to Europe tested the limits of tolerance in Europe and the European societies, straining their social fabric. This influx of refugees, overwhelming in both speed and numbers, has ignited a troubling rise of the fear right across European nations. We have seen government emerge, some anti-immigrant, others out of Islamophobic, claiming victory in elections. But let us be clear, the rise of identity politics is not confined to the Middle East or Europe. It is a phenomenon we have to observe, and we have observed globally, from Asia to the Americas. Extremists on all sides are falling over each other to be more extremist, as every narrative gives rise to a counter-narrative, seemingly validating Huntington's Clash of Civilizations. Nevertheless, it is in this context that the significance of this conference cannot be overstated. By focusing on the points of convergence, I reiterate, points of convergence between Islam and Confucianism, we are actively choosing to diverge from the path of discord. We are actively turning our backs on the narcissism of small differences so that we can rise above and soar the higher notes of harmony. This approach is of paramount importance in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious society such as Malaysia. Here, we have to contend with the force of obscurantism, which wish to impose uniformity stemming from a yearning for the recreation of an imagined Puritan past. But let me assert with clarity and conviction that it's not the path we wish to tread. We must and we will move onwards and forward. This conference represents more than just an academic exercise. Indeed, it embodies policy in action. As we engage in our discussions, we may well unearth fresh insights to the rich tapestries of Islam and Confucianism, through certainty not confined, though certainly not confined to these two giants or domains. Indeed, the significance of our endeavor extends far beyond academic realm. It is an era of increasingly characterized by growing intolerance and divisiveness. The very act of engaging in civilizational dialogue represents a bold act of defiance. This stands as a resolute affirmation of our steadfast dedication to nurturing mutual understanding, a culture of inclusivity in diversity, and the active pursuit of peace and harmony. We delve into discussions that are crucial not just for our times, but for the future of our planet. In our pursuit of solutions for the contemporary challenges facing humanity, we are reminded of the rules of pragmatic wisdom inherent in Islam and Confucianism. We are happy that Professor Tuwe Meng is with us today despite his current state of health, although this is through video conferencing we're trying to get. I don't know. Osman, are we able to do that? Yes. Oh, thank you. He's a great friend and have been consistent for decades. And is a great contribution, not only to the neo-Confucianist ethics and understanding, but the measure of tolerance and appreciation for other civilizations, and in particular, Islam. Now, the idea of a dialogical community is important for our time. This seems to be the new theme of Osman's thesis. When societies are becoming more culturally complex and intercultural relations are problematic, Islam-Confucianism dialogue on enlightened leadership is a significant step in the right direction to advance the idea of a dialogical community. Just as Confucius founded a dialogical community in China, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ laid the foundation of Islam's dialogical community and culture in Medina al-Munawwara. The idea of enlightened leadership in Confucianism and Islam necessarily brings in the question of advocacy of the moderate or middle path. In the West, Aristotle talks about the golden mean. In Islam, we say awsatuha, or Islamic wasatiyya. In Confucianism, is the chungyu. Pardon my pronunciation. Li Kang didn't allow me to practice other. Well, in both golden mean or wasatiyya or chungyu, the middle path, is expounded as follows. While there are no strings of pleasures, anger, sorrow, or joy, the mind may be said to be in the state of equilibrium. In fact, I was in Kuching last night, talking about the Global Muslim Conference, business conference, and the theme was, of course, energy transition, technological or digital transformation, and the problem of climate challenge. And I made reference to the same principle of wasatiyya, in the Quranic injunction that we must create a society that can maintain balance and equilibrium. In fact, the term is ummatan wasata litakunu shuhada'a 'ala an-nas wa yakuna ar-rasulu 'alaykum shahida. Only when you achieve this state of equilibrium between the spiritual and the material, mind and body, man and nature, that equilibrium, then the society can excel and succeed, to be seen as an example to the global community. This equilibrium is a great root from which grow all the human actings of the world. And this harmony, which is very much Confucianist ethics, is the universal path which they all should pursue. Confucianism and Islam share similar emphasis on the idea of moral empowerment and the way to its realization, which stems on issue of values and morality. Whether you talk about economic advancement or technological transformation or energy, you cannot deflect the importance of values and ethics. Thus comes the term Madani in our national philosophy. In Confucianism, the way is referred to as an inner cultivation. In Islam, in the Quranic, is tazkiyatun nafs. The idea, even the idea of Darul Islam is abode of peace. And both in Islam and Confucianism, it is inner and external peace. Yes, essentially I wouldn't want to repeat, because you say, how do I then craft this whole idea of Madani? I don't think it is. It could be done without reference to the Islamic text and Confucianist or Neo-Confucianist teachings and ideals. This issue of inner struggle of conscience is well expounded by the Algerian thinker Malik Ben Nabi, which I often refer to. The inner struggle of conscience, meaning the peace, the justice, the balance must stem from your conviction. And the conviction stems from your own belief. It's not a political rhetoric, it is not just pious platitudes, it's not just an election manifesto. It's what you sincerely, honestly believe in as an inner struggle of conscience. Now, as we grapple with issues such as climate change, inequality, cybersecurity, and the ethical implications of artificial intelligence, we find that these challenges are deeply ethical in nature. Resolving them demands a re-evaluation of our values and the principles that guide our actions. These ancient philosophies teach us about balance, about chungyu, about wasatiyya, about golden mean, ethical conduct, and the importance of considering the collective good. They remind us that our actions and innovations must be grounded in moral and ethical principles. As we move forward in this age of rapid technological advancement and environmental crises, these teachings must guide us towards a more sustainable, equitable, and ethical path. Malaysia, a nation which major civilizations interact in the mainstream of social political development, stands uniquely positioned to be a beacon of this cause. Yes, Islam is the religion of the Federation. Yes, we have this interaction with the Chinese and Confucianism. Yes, with Hindus and Hinduism and the Indian culture and philosophy. And of course, the indigenous tribes. We can see this from and see the differences as an opportunity to sow the seeds of discord, or alternatively, as our sages and teachings of the past have guided us, we use these to fortify our strength through this ethical governance. Our diverse heritage offers us a unique opportunity, perspective, to be at the forefront in shaping a new era of global ethical governance. We don't talk only about or learn as an academic treatise on Islam or Confucianism or Indian philosophy or Hinduism, but we interact, we understand, we grow up with the societies. So we have an upper hand if we see this in a positive light. So as we reflect on the myriad challenges before us, it becomes clear that they all converge on the most fundamental issue of ethics. By embracing the wisdom of Islam and Confucianism, we can work towards a future that is not only technologically advanced, but also morally enlightened. This inflection point of civilization, Malaysia must lead the way in setting the example of a more inclusive world where harmony thrives seamlessly amidst the multiplicity of races, religion, nationalities, and genders. Yes, this sort of a discourse is popular among scholars like Osman, academicians, and probably students of religion. But it is not something that political leaders and statesmen like to be involved in. And that is, to me, a major flaw and a deficit. That's why, Ambassador, when I went to China, I made special reference to President Xi Jinping's remark when he talked about the need to encourage understanding and see the entire political strategic partnership, not only in terms of economic advancement to ensure sustainability and growth, or in the fields of digital transformation, but he emphasized the term civilization. I made special and specific reference to this in my exchange with President Xi Jinping, that you, Mr. President, is quite unique in the sense that for a statesman to refer to the need for understanding and civilization when the world talks purely, only, or confined to technology, climate, and economic growth. Toshiko Izutsu, the Japanese Islamic scholar and philosopher, see God and Man in the Quran, I think, and the other book is Epistemology. Osman is more familiar with that. Izutsu reminds us that while knowledge of Qadar brings man a perfect peace of mind, he will at the same time be tormented by intense pain at the sight of all the injustices, evils, and sufferings that reign rampant around him. Qadar means things are already certain. Whatever you do, you are fated. But that does not preclude from his or our immediate task of working for the good of man and mankind and reject the injustices, corruption, and injustices in our midst. Let us therefore forge ahead with a renewed conviction grounded in the sound principles of Islam and Confucianism, and not be influenced by the likes of Huntington's Clash of Civilization, that you can only survive, succeed with Western civilization. All the rest, Chinese and Indian and Arab, are all getting to be obsolete and irrelevant. We take a different view. We cherish all cultures and civilizations, and we see that as a source of strength. And to us, the sound principles of Islam and Confucianism, for the pursuit of prosperity, that must be shared, and the attainment of justice in all its varied spheres of human endeavor. Terima kasih sekali lagi Osman dan rakan-rakan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Jadi terima kasih ucapkan Ibu Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri untuk terus kekal di pentas utama, dan silakan Yang Berhormat Menteri Sains, Teknologi dan Inovasi Malaysia untuk mengunjungi Tuan Yang Terutama Duta Besar China ke Malaysia. Tunggu sini Yang Berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Datuk Osman Bakar, juga Yang Berhormat Tuan Yi Pengurusi Cross, dan juga Yang Berusaha Encik Ian Pengurusi Search untuk ke sesi gaming yang kita akan langsungkan sebelum majlis langsungkan pada hari ini.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we proudly unveil the Chinese edition of the new second edition of Islam and Confucianism, a civilizational dialogue 2019.
Jadi untuk sesi ini kita akan persilakan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri dan juga Tuan Yang Terutama Perasmian Duta Besar China ke Malaysia untuk menarik helaian kain merah ini sebagai simbolik gaming pelajaran kita langsungkan. Mari kita berikan tepukan yang paling gemuruh. Dan kini sebagai melengkapkan sesi ini, pasti disilakan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri dan juga Tuan Terutama untuk menurunkan tanda tangan sebagai simbolik gaming pelancaran buku yang dilangsungkan pada hari ini.
As we launch the book, let it serve as a catalyst for further exploration, discussion, and mutual understanding. May it continue to inspire and pave the way for more cross-cultural exchange in the spirit of Islam and Confucianism leadership dialogue.
Tuan-tuan dan puan, kita berikan tepukan yang paling gemuruh. Dan kini juga untuk malam bersama, Profesor Osman akan juga terus menyampaikan dua buah buku. Profesor Emeritus Datuk Bakar akan menyampaikan dua buah buku kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri pada sesi kita langsungkan pada hari ini. Kita berikan tepukan untuk sesi.
And up next, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to acknowledge and honor those who have contributed significantly for today's program. May I invite the sponsors? We have Yang Berbahagia Datuk Seri Chong Kek Pin, the Executive Chairman of Prestamo Berhad. Mr. Chen Min Yi, the co-founder of the Shan's Charitable Foundation. Mr. Lim Kim Du, the Director of Megatrax Plastic Industry, Sdn Bhd. Mr. Sun Chien Wei from the South Sea Capital.
Untuk dilangsungkan sesi bergambar, dilangsungkan bersama dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri di pentas utama, dan pastinya untuk menyantuni juga kita persilakan untuk sesi ini Yang Amat Berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Dr. Wan Ismail juga dipersilakan untuk bersama di pentas bagi kelangsungan acara sesi bergambar sempena dengan majlis dilangsungkan pada hari ini.
And to all our active sponsors, thank you so much for your endless support and unwavering commitment in making today's event a great resounding success.
Jadi inilah sesi yang kita langsungkan bersama-sama di kenaman dan juga para penaja yang menjayakan dan juga membawakan acara pada kali ini. Kita berikan tepukan sekali lagi.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please.
Jadi terima kasih ucapkan kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri dan kenamaan di pentas utama. Dipersilakan kembali semula berada di ruang bangku untuk kita melangsungkan sesi bergambar secara beramai-ramai. Dipersilakan rakan media untuk mengambil kedudukan di atas pentas untuk merakamkan visual ini dengan kehadiran semua yang hadir. Kita persilakan juga para peserta dan tuan-tuan perempuan sama-sama kita berdiri untuk sesi bergambar ini dilangsungkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us be on our feet for a group photo session together. We would also like to invite the members of the media to join us on the stage for this session.
Jadi kita silakan, mungkin kita boleh menyatukan kedudukan sedikit rapat untuk sesi dilangsungkan. Begitu juga kepada tuan-tuan perempuan juga untuk langsungkan sesi bergambar ini. Silakan.
Okay.
We would like to commemorate this very special occasion with some photos.
Jadi untuk kemas ini kita akan meminta Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri untuk teruskan mengambil tempat duduk semula bersama dengan